Could surviving a climate catastrophe mean giving up some of our freedom as individuals? That's the kind of unsettling question posed by Resonance of Control. And it's a speculative design project that we're really excited to dig into today.
Yeah, this project, it really is a fascinating look at how AI could completely transform urban life. And not just through technology, but, also by bringing in ancient wisdom and even taking inspiration from nature.
Yeah, it's not like some, cold and sterile robot city we see so often, right?
Yeah.
This project, it was thought up by this fictional AI designer. Their name is Sengwang 8047 from Thailand. And they imagine these huge cities run with incredible efficiency and resilience, and AI guides it all.
But there is a twist.
Yeah.
This AI, it pulls from traditional Thai practices and the principles of biomimicry.
Which is really interesting.
It is.
Yeah, and that's where I think that tension lies.
Exactly.
The people in these cities, they seem happy. They're embracing what's called Sanuk, which is the Thai concept of finding joy in everything.
Yeah.
They're diverse, super tech-savvy, but the project hints at this subtle suppression of individual expression.
All for the sake of unity and stability, of course.
Oh, of course. So is this a utopia or a dystopia? I mean, that's what we're diving into today.
For sure. And one of the most interesting parts of this is the system called CIMP. It's not really defined explicitly, but it's obviously like the backbone of these cities, influencing everything from resource management to how people interact with each other.
Okay, so we've got AI running the show, taking inspiration from both futuristic tech and ancient traditions. And it's all tied together with this mysterious CMP. I'm hooked already.
And to really get a feel for this world, I think you have to look at the image that goes with the project.
Okay.
It depicts a resonance node, this really amazing fusion of technology and traditional Thai architecture.
I'm pulling it up now.
It's like the AI is physically showing this blend of influences.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the beautiful, almost like a living, breathing organism.
Yeah.
You were right. It really captures the essence of this world. But how did this AI designer even come up with this whole concept? It feels so intricate.
Well, that's what is so fascinating about speculative design. Even though fictional, Sangmong 8847 went through a very rigorous process.
Oh, wow.
It started by diving deep into research, pulling from academic papers, historical archives, everything.
So it's not just about aesthetics. There's like some serious intellectual work behind this vision.
Exactly. And from there, it mapped out patterns, connecting the dots between the futuristic tech, those Thai practices, and biomimicry. Which, by the way, is taking inspiration from nature's designs.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like this AI is weaving together all these different ideas.
Yeah, and those patterns, those become the foundation for these detailed future scenarios.
Almost like mini stories playing out.
Yeah, and then from those, it designs these artifacts like the resonance node we talked about and fleshes out this whole world.
It's really a masterclass in world building.
And if I'm understanding this correctly, the whole point of this is to get us thinking.
You got it.
It's not about just creating this cool fictional world.
Sangmong 847 wants us to really think about the potential consequences of our choices, especially when it comes to technology, culture, and the environment.
It's like a call to action to examine the path we're on.
Absolutely.
So it's like holding up this mirror to our present anxieties about climate change and runaway technological advancement and making us confront these uncomfortable what-ifs.
Precisely. What if in our search for solutions, we end up sacrificing things that are really important to us?
Yeah.
What if stability comes at the cost of our individual freedom? And that's where speculative design really shines. It's not about predicting the future, but using design as like a tool to explore these uncomfortable what ifs and spark debate so we can make, more informed choices.
So it's less about fortune telling and more about creating this mental playground for the future.
Exactly. A space where we can experiment with ideas, see what works, what doesn't, what ethical problems come up. And in the case of resonance of control, it raises a really important question. Can a society that prioritizes efficiency and stability above everything else truly be desirable, even if it means giving up some personal autonomy?
That's a question that's becoming more and more relevant as we deal with climate change and the growing role of technology in our lives. The idea of a perfectly managed, problem-free city is tempting, but at what cost?
Right, and that's what makes this project so unsettling. It doesn't present like a clear dystopia. It offers this vision that's both alluring and troubling, and forces us to confront the downsides of a system that might seem utopian at first glance.
Like that subtle suppression of individual expression we talked about earlier. On one hand, it's presented as a way to keep harmony and unity.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it raises some serious concerns about censorship, conformity, and the potential loss of cultural diversity.
Exactly. And it highlights how important it is to question assumptions. Just because something is presented as efficient or beneficial doesn't mean it doesn't have drawbacks. We need to be critical consumers of these future visions, not just passive recipients.
So we can't just be dazzled by the shiny tech and the promise of a problem-free life. We have to ask, what are we giving up in exchange for this stability and efficiency?
Exactly. And those are the questions that Sungwang 8847 wants us to think about. It's not about giving easy answers. It's about starting a deeper, more nuanced discussion about the kind of future we want.
You know, one thing that really struck me about this project is how it uses biomimicry, drawing inspiration from nature. But isn't that a little ironic? We're talking about AI managing these hyper-efficient cities, which feels very artificial, yet it's drawing on natural systems.
That's a great observation, and I think that tension is really at the heart of the project. It's asking, can we really reconcile the natural and the artificial? Can we create a future with technology that's both sustainable and humane?
And how does Sungwang fit into all of this? We know it's central to how these cities work, but it's still kind of mysterious.
Right, and that ambiguity is on purpose. It forces us to speculate, to fill in the gaps with our own ideas. Is CMP a governing body, a technological framework, a set of societal principles? The project leaves that up to us.
Which, of course, makes it all the more interesting. It's like a puzzle box waiting for us to unlock its secrets.
And in a way, that's what the future is, a puzzle box full of possibilities and unknown. Speculative design just gives us a set of tools and frameworks to approach that puzzle with curiosity and critical thinking.
I like that analogy. So if we step back and think about the bigger picture here, what can we learn from Sangwang 8847's approach? Remember, this is a fictional AI designer, a representation of artificial intelligence as a creative force.
What I find fascinating is how this AI doesn't shy away from complexity. It embraces the tension between things that seem opposite, like technology and tradition efficiency and freedom, unity, and diversity. It reminds us that the most interesting solutions are often found in the gray areas, not in simple black and white thinking.
It's like the AI is showing us a new way to solve problems, one that's more nuanced, more holistic, and more in tune with how everything is connected. Instead of trying to get rid of complexity, we should embrace it, lean into it.
Exactly. And that's a valuable lesson, not just for designers, but for anyone trying to navigate the complexities of the 21st century, whether we're talking about climate change, social justice, or technological advancement. The answers won't be found in simplistic binaries.
So what does all this mean for us here in the present? We've explored this fascinating, though unsettling future. But how do we apply these ideas to our daily lives?
I think the key takeaway is this: we have agency. We're not just passengers on the trip to the future. We have the power to shape it with the choices we make, both individually and together, and that starts with asking the right questions.
So instead of just worrying about what's coming, we should really be engaging with it and trying to understand the forces at play and, how we can influence them.
Yeah, exactly. We can't just sit back and let the future happen to us. We need to be proactive. Asked tough questions about the compromises we're willing to make, the things we value most, and the kind of world we want to leave behind for the next generation.
And those questions are super relevant when it comes to AI. Resonance of control doesn't demonize AI, but it does highlight the potential problems of letting it call the shots for our future.
For sure, the project reminds us that even the most well-meaning AI, even one inspired by ancient wisdom in nature, could lead to unintended consequences if we aren't paying attention. It's up to us to set boundaries, to decide what role AI plays in our lives.
And maybe that's one of the biggest takeaways from Sangwang 8847's approach. It's not just about the tech or the solutions it suggests. It's about the mindset. It embodies this mindset of critical inquiry, a willingness to embrace complexity, and a really deep understanding of how everything is connected.
Right. It's about recognizing that the future isn't set in stone. It's this blank canvas that we get to paint with our choices, our actions, and our creativity. And speculative design gives us the tools to do that with more awareness, more intention, and more, imagination.
This has been an incredible deep dive into resonance of control. It's a project that really sticks with you even after you've looked at the pictures and read all about it.
Yeah.
It makes you ask those tough but necessary questions about the future we're building.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes great speculative design so powerful. It doesn't offer easy answers or tell you what to do. It pushes you, challenges you, and ultimately leaves you with a sense of responsibility for the future.
So well said. Thanks to everyone out there for joining us on Exploring Futures. We hope this deep dive has given you all some things to think about and inspired you to keep exploring those possible futures, asking those big questions, and talking about the world we want to create. And if you found this interesting, share it with anyone who wants to explore these ideas. Until next time, keep looking ahead.